Hello everybody and welcome to ISpeakSpokeSpoken.com. My name is Dan and today we're going to look at the difference between the present perfect and the past simple. This is something that a lot of people ask me about as a teacher, and so it's something that we're going to go through in great detail today. So you'll get a chance to know exactly why and when you use these phrases. So in order to understand the differences, we need to kind of look at the individual tenses themselves. So we're just going to have a look at the present perfect here. Now the present perfect is a tense that blends the past and the present. Okay, this is why we call it present perfect. Perfect, as I've said in many other videos, is before. So something before the present is naturally going to be in the past. This is why the present perfect affects the past, okay? So what happens during the present perfect and why do we use it? Well, it's used, often we use have and has, remember, because it's a present form, although it is perfect, so it's referencing the past. So we're using have and has rather than had. And in other videos we've spoken about the use of have as an auxiliary verb, and that's exactly what's happening here. Okay, so let's have a look at why and when we use them. So we use present perfect to describe an action that started in the past and continues to the present, okay? So we can do this in certain ways. We can say, for example, look at the example here. I'm just going to move this over here so you can see. I have lived here for 5 years. I have lived here for 5 years. So clearly it started 5 years ago and it's gone up to the present point. So I have lived. And it's important to the current time because we're talking about the fact that it's relevant to now. All right, so let's just move this back over here if we can. If it will do what it's supposed to do. What's happening? Okay, see, beautiful technology there. Okay, so it's also used to talk about experiences without specifying when they happened. So, she has visited Paris. Just a question about the pronunciation. Visited starts with vi, visited, and this id is this third option then of the pronunciation of ed. You can have t, d, and id, and visited is the third one. Okay, so she has visited Paris. We don't know when, we just know that she is different now because of her experience of having visited Paris. Okay, happened in the past. She has visited. It's been done. Something in her is different. Okay? Right. To discuss an action that has an impact on the present moment. Okay? So, for example, he has lost his keys. He has lost his keys. Now, the reason this is important is because at the moment, it's probably affecting the situation. Okay? He can't get into his house because he has lost his keys in the past. That past event is very relevant to now because he's standing outside his door, unable to get in. Okay? That's why we use this to talk about a past event that is important right now. Okay. We also use it, so you can say kind of, I lost my keys is something we will compare to actually. Just to pick up on this past simple is something that we can look at later. I lost my keys doesn't tell you that I can't get into my flat now. It just tells you that that happened. Okay, it tells you it might be the case that I can't get into my flat now, but it's not told to you during the phrase. Okay, the phrase doesn't tell you it. It might be the case, but the language is not suggesting that. I have lost my keys. Yeah, that's why it's important now. I've lost my keys. I can't get in. Okay, so let's look at the final one on the list here. To discuss recent events and experiences without a specific time. Okay, so we have just finished dinner. She has visited Tokyo 3 times. Okay, so now we don't know when, but we're using it in order to talk about recent events that have just happened. Often we use this word just, okay? There are other words we can use in this situation, but it opens a whole new kind of grammar point, so we won't talk about it today, but there will be videos in the future talking about that. So let's just focus on this. So she has visited Tokyo 3 times. Again, visited, we've got this id here, dinner. Now remember, in previous videos I've shown you that this sound and this sound in many English pronunciation situations around the country, in the UK, in America, Australia, we can use a sliding scale between and So some people might say dinner, some people might say dinner. It's actually okay to have this sliding scale. All right, so let's go on. So exploring the past simple. So this is the difference, and this will show us why it's different from the present perfect. So past simple is talking about actions and events or situations that have happened in the past that are finished, are done, and we don't talk about it in relation to the present. It's not in relation to the present at all. So we use it to narrate finished actions at a definite time. I cooked dinner last night. Okay, that's a fact, and it's done, it's finished, it was last night, it's not relevant to today. Okay, it's just a fact about last night. I cooked dinner last night. Cooked, this sound, cooked. Have a practice of this word. It's not cooked, it's not cooked, it's cooked. Cooked. There's no space between the k and the t. Cooked. Try and practice it. Try and do it as many times as you can. Don't let anyone catch you. If it sounds strange, you can go cooked, but it's good. You have to try. I cooked dinner last night. Okay, for sequential past actions. So she woke up, she ate breakfast, and left for work. Okay, so when things go in chronological order, we use past simple. I got up, I ate my breakfast, I walked to work. Okay, she woke up, ate breakfast, and left for work. Okay? When things are chronological, you can use that. Okay, so you can also use the past simple to state historical facts or general past truths. So Shakespeare wrote many plays. It's a fact. It's just something that happened in the past. It's not something that was a major event for you or for us, but it's a fact. It's a historical fact. Okay, good. To describe habits or repeated actions in the past. He played tennis every Sunday. He played tennis every Sunday. And again, this is very useful and very typical of a simple form, this routine thing. It's the same in the present simple. You know, I go to school every day. He played tennis every day. It's just past form of that, routine. Habit, so habit or routine. To set scenes or backgrounds in stories. Okay, so it was dark and stormy night. It was a dark and stormy night. I think the important thing to know about this one is that when you're setting a scene, it's usually the fact that the story is actually set in the past anyway. But not necessarily is the story in the past form, but when you're making this description, you're always using a past form anyway. I was talking about this to my students only yesterday. We're teaching creative writing. We were talking about the different forms of English that you use when you are describing things and describing scenes, and past simple came up as one of them. Okay, excellent. So let's have a look at the next slide, because we have the comparisons between this present perfect and past simple, so you can actually see how it looks in language, how it looks comparison-wise. So let's have a look into the examples. What I will do is I will say the example to you. I will speak it clearly so you understand how it's supposed to be said. And then we'll just look at the meanings and why and the differences exist. So, for example, present perfect version is I have met several celebrities. I have met several celebrities. What is a celebrity? What is a celebrity, do you think? It's a famous person, okay? A famous person. Celebrity. It's a very popular word in the UK especially. People don't necessarily say famous person, they'll always say celebrity. So I have met several celebrities. General experience, okay? It's something that happened in the past. I'm slightly different now because of it, because I have this experience. But past simple version is I met a celebrity at the party last week. That is a fact. That's the thing that happened in the past that I want you to know about. To say this in a perfect form, you would probably say, I have met a celebrity. You know, the same as here, I've met several celebrities. But I met a celebrity at the party last week. Okay? Remember, these two are long sounds. Last week. Okay, good. Well done. Let's have a look at the next example of comparative example. We have present perfect and past simple. Slightly different. So this is a specific occurrence like we were talking about, and this is a general experience. Now we have slightly different meanings, but we'll go through that when we get there. So they have changed the design. They have changed the design. And this is focused on now, the result as now. So we can also say the design has changed. So they have changed the design. Past simple version, they changed the design yesterday. And actually, we don't always have to put this here. They changed the design is something like it happened and it's a fact, and really it doesn't have a relevance now, I would say. They have changed the design is slightly different because it means that, oh my God, the design's different. They changed it, or they have changed it. So all I will say is that this is a completed action. Yeah, it's happened in the past, and this is a focus on the result now. However, in fast speech and in a normal kind of English-speaking native situation, you might get a little bit of crossover between these two. So people might say, oh, they changed the design, which is this one, when what they really mean to say is they have changed the design. So native speakers often, in situations specifically like this one, could end up just using simple when they need to use the present perfect. It happens a lot. All right, let's go on to the next one then. So present perfect, we have already eaten. We have already eaten. So recent action with present relevance. So I'm not hungry, I don't want to eat because we have already eaten. This one, we don't have to put already in there, but it helps to clarify the point. Past simple, we ate 2 hours ago. We ate 2 hours ago. So specific past time. Now, we ate 2 hours ago. Does that tell you you don't want to eat now? Not really. It just gives us a fact. You ate 2 hours ago. We have already eaten. Does that say we want to eat now? It says we probably don't want to eat now because we have already eaten. Okay, so we think about, is that information relevant to now? And if it is, then you use this present perfect. So, ate 2 hours ago, specific past time, already eaten, recent action with present relevance, because now I'm probably not hungry. Okay, next one. Present perfect, she has written 5 reports this week. Okay, it's kind of an ongoing time frame. So she's written 5 reports this week, meaning that it doesn't tell us if she's going to continue, but she probably will. Okay, she has written. Past simple, she wrote a report yesterday. So it's a completed action at a specific time. Okay, so you can mix these two together actually if you're talking about something that's going on in the office. So you can say, she has written 5 reports this week. She wrote a report yesterday. So it means that, you know, she's working hard. This is what she's done so far this week. It's relevant to now. And this is a bit of a fact about the fact she did one yesterday. Okay, so it's a mix of the two. And it's a very nice way to kind of report something. And it's good that you can use it that way. You can understand the difference between the simple and the perfect. Okay, past simple and present perfect. Excellent. Okay, last one. Present perfect. I have always loved classical music. Unspecified time up to now. I have always loved classical music. And then we have the past simple version. I loved the concert last night. I loved the concert last night. Okay, so there again, specific completed action. I loved the concert last night. Done. I have always loved classical music. Relevant to now because you know that now I still love classical music. Okay. Fantastic. So those are comparative examples. I would suggest and urge you to get on the I above, click on it, take these down, have a look, print them out if you need to, take them onto a computer, go through them, practice, do our quiz, make sure that you've got all this really secure in your mind, because you can go over and over and over this. You don't have to. Watch the video, listen to me, repeat how I say things, and you should be fine. But the video here, the idea of this video was just to give you a nice example of the differences between these two, because they're always something that people get confused. People always get confused between the present perfect and past simple because it's so similar. And also, you can interchange it now and then. So you just have to be aware of using it correctly and breaking the rules when you want to break the rules, because you can if you know them. Okay, so in conclusion, let's just wrap up what we've learned. So the present perfect connects the past actions to the present. There's always that link between past and present. It emphasizing the relevance of the past or the continuity on the present moment. In contrast, this past simple talks about actions completed and finished in the past that has no implication to the present, okay? And if they do, it's just by coincidence. If there is an implication to the present, then you must use present perfect, okay? Remember, past simple stays in the past. Present perfect is the present before the present, okay, which is the past. Okay, I hope you enjoyed all that. Remember to get those slides, and I'll see you next time.